Hi, this is Amy Norris. I am the librarian who takes care of the fish here at Sulzer Regional Library. I just wanted to give an update video on Jonathan. For those of you who've been to the library recently, you may have noticed he's not in the tub with Obi. He's fine. He's not in the farm in the sky. I noticed it was early this month. I came in to check on him, and I noticed his behavior was a little off. He was gasping at the surface of the water, would suck in a little bit of breath, and then he would go towards the bottom and he would exhale bubbles out of his gills, and he would just kind of sit on the bottom. And I knew this was not normal behavior and not good, so I made a sort of panic decision to take him home. And I put him in a little 5-gallon rolly bucket and wheeled him out to my car. Used an airline tube that was a USB one to put bubbles in it to take him home. And at home, I put him in a quarantine tank. It was actually the same one that I'd used whenever I first got him, and it's a 27-gallon plastic tote. And I used a filter from a pond I had created at home for my guppies. I actually had 2 different filters in there, so I just took one of the established filters and put that in there with him so that it would instantly cycle the water. And then I put about 20 gallons just for the sake of medication, and I treated him with methylene blue and Paracleanse. Methylene blue is a chemical dye. It's actually used on humans too. It has antifungal properties and supposedly helps get oxygen to the organs. And then I also, because of the fact that it was a breathing issue, I was worried that it might be gill flukes, which is a parasite that can get into the gills of fish and make it hard for them to breathe. So I went ahead and treated him with the Paracleanse, which is an anti-parasite medication. I noticed the next day he was acting considerably better, so that was great, which I was very happy about, but it also made me concerned about what may have caused this. So I went ahead and finished the treatment. It only took about a week to finish the treatment, and I started doing water changes to pull the medications out of the water. And like I said, he's doing fine. He still eats. I mostly fed him peas in the beginning, and then I started feeding him back his normal food. And like I said, he's doing great, and I have some footage here of him swimming around. He's fine. I don't think he likes being in such a small space, so my thought was, so this is where it was kind of hard for me. I was like, okay, do I put him back in there with Obi? Because my other concern is that it wasn't necessarily gill flukes, because Obi wasn't showing any kind of signs of issues. I went ahead and treated him with Pro, another anti-parasite medication. Mostly I treated him with Pro because you can treat a bigger tub and it's okay for plants. Whereas the Paracleanse is in little packets and it would have been a lot more expensive to treat them, but they're both anti-parasite medications that treat gill flukes. But my concern is that it wasn't the gill flukes at all, but that it was Obi bullying. And Obi's always been chasing Jonathan ever since I put him in there. And for the most part, he leaves him alone. But I'm afraid that just as time has gone on, Jonathan couldn't really compete with Obi, being smaller. And also, if you watch my other video on how I created the pond, you know I talked about how Jonathan's fins were a little bit curled, and his tail, the shape of his mouth's a little funny, and I keep wondering if it was deformities or stunting that made him like that. But because he's not quite a perfectly healthy goldfish, I think that's also exacerbating his bullying from Obi, that he can't really compete and he can't really handle that sort of pressure and stress. So I'm wondering too if this is just a buildup of stress that was causing these symptoms. So a part of me thinks it might be best for Jonathan, at least for a while, to be on his own. And so I went ahead and ordered a large tank, the 85-gallon tub, that supposedly should be here in early October. If not, then I may have to drive out to a Tractor Supply to get my own one, and hopefully it'll fit in my car. But I am kind of excited because that means I get to create another pond similar to Obi's, and maybe I'll do it in my own condo. I have a little miniature version in my condo right now that's about 40 gallons that I keep all of my guppies. It's right now kind of a guppy platy colony where I'm letting them breed and sort of cull their own numbers. And we'll see how that ends up going, but I'll show some footage in here too of that. But so far it's been going really well. And it'd be kind of cool to put it next to it. So I already have some ideas of like a waterfall, and maybe even a waterfall that goes from one tank to the other, and different little ideas about putting stuff around it. It may not be long term because I am in the process of like refinishing my apartment. Since it's a condo that I bought, I can retile myself. So I've got ideas, and I'm kind of excited about it. And it's also nice to go home to a goldfish instead of just only seeing them at work. I really, really, really love goldfish. But anyway, so I just wanted to give everyone an update. This is the current situation. With Jonathan, he's fine. He's not he's not sick anymore, and he's doing much better. But I'll keep you updated in case anything new comes up. But as it is right now, he may not actually end up coming back to the library, but we'll see, because I may bring him, set up the pond. Well, we'll see. All right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.